Freedom. What's freedom? Is freedom living in a democratic country? Perhaps freedom is not owning anything to anybody, being debt free? Or is it being off of an unhealthy relationship? What about the things inside of us? Like pain, suffering, our worries, things that we think about every single day, our traumas, those things that don't let us sleep at night. Jesus said, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciple. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Today we're going to be talking about how we can live a life of fulfillment, joy, and happiness by looking into this truth and how can this truth give us freedom and this purpose in life. Most problems come from within, and we spend our whole lives trying to come up with a plan to solve these problems. A lot of people go and trying to find a job that gives them a lot of possessions because they believe by having a lot will give them happiness. Other people trying to find a position of power because by this they might feel respected. They might want to control situations. But it doesn't matter how much money they make. It doesn't matter how much power or fame they achieve. If they don't go deeply inside of them and search with God, they will always feel empty. See, I didn't grow up with a dad, and this impacted my life significantly. Even though I have the beautiful love of my mom, she cared for me very well. At the same time, I was always looking for the love that I was missing from my dad. This led me to different unhealthy relationships where I was always anxious and needy for the love. But I could never find this love because it's a love that I cannot find in any woman. It's not a love that I can find in any person or in any career. It is a love that only God can give me. Jesus gave us two things. The first thing He gave us is truth, and the other thing, it is freedom. So what's truth? How can we find this truth? Well, He gave us the answer to this question. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody can go to the Father except through me. See, we only can find the solution for our problems through Christ. We cannot go to the Father. We cannot go to the healing process only through Jesus. Jesus is this truth that we need in our life. And the other thing He says that freedom, right? How can we find the freedom? He also said in the passage that if you abide in my word. And what's the word? Well, there's two meanings on this one. One is the literal word, which is the scriptures, right? The revelation of God. And the other one is Himself. And the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. See, Jesus is the Word and the truth. And when we search for this truth, for this Word, for Jesus, for God, then we find this truth and this fulfillment. Richard Rohr is one of my favorite writers. In his book Breathing Underwater, this is a book that he wrote for healing and having a fulfilling life. He developed it in 12 steps through spiritual discipline to help us understand ourselves, to have a meaningful relationship with our Creator, with God, and find the healing that we all need. He said this: true faith is one of the most holistic and free actions a human can perform. It leads us to such a deep and broad perception. See, he talking about faith, the importance of having a faithful life, a life with faith, a faith in God, a faith in hope, a faith in meaning, right? A faith that there's something better out there for us. And true faith leads us into going deep and finding the meaning of life, the meaning of our lives. He and the book talks about 3 important things that we need to learn how to live with. We need to learn how to understand, kind of like how to listen to it. And one is our head. Our head. He says we need to understand our thoughts, where our thoughts come from. The other thing is our heart. What's our heart telling us? And the last thing is our body. These 3 things are very intangible things. You know, it's hard. We cannot touch that. It's hard for us to understand it, and that's why the spiritual discipline of prayer and reading of scriptures will help us to find the answer, to have a connection, and to see these 3 things, how we can see these 3 things lighting up together to give us the healing that we all want and we are seeking. So our thoughts, we need to, like I said, we need to understand our thoughts, where they're coming from. We need to spend time in solitude and writing and understanding where these thoughts come from. The other thing is our heart, our desires. What are our heart is telling us, and our body. What are our emotions are telling us. Emotions are good because it tells us how we're feeling, right? So when we spend time with God, He gives us the opportunity to understand these 3 aspects of our life, align them together to find this love and this purpose in our life. Now I want to leave you with the words of the psalmist. He said in Psalms 139, 23 to 24, "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the eternal way." God, find what's inside of me. Search my heart. Help me to see my anxious thoughts. Help me not to have any negative inside of me. Help me to keep myself into a pure state of mind. And as you do this, God, lead me into the eternal way. What a beautiful prayer. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this message, please share it with a friend or family member. And I hope you have a wonderful week. God bless you.